Hit record now. Hope this picks up. It's on recording. What's the name of that dog?
Rambo.
Oh. All right. Taylor Wrestling Podcast coming to you on January 6th. Happy Insurrection Day, everybody. I'm your host, Ernest, EJ Christian, alongside Mike Bernier, Rambo Lopez.
I don't think his last name is Lopez.
Not Rambo Lopez. Joe Lopez, somewhere in the corner there.
I'm here somewhere. Rambo. I'm using my Braun Breaker filter.
To our fans on YouTube, for the record, if you're watching this show and you see me in a still shot, that is not a picture of me. That's actually literally me in my video frozen right now.
No. That's literally him the entire show. Eyes closed, hand on his cheek, going, "Why am I doing this thing?"
Yes. I mean, Rambo looking at me. I look at Rambo looking at me like, "What the fuck is this guy doing?"
Yeah, I am not a dog.
And I'm eating.
Just want to say that for the record.
Well, it is today. Today is the official 2022 Take 3 Wrestling Awards ceremony. Da-da! I am not bringing my fucking soundboard today. Fuck that shit. I am not even gonna risk that shit today with this computer. I'm so over it.
For those of you at home that don't know, our estimated
what if they're on mobile? What if they're on mobile?
It is 11:25. We've gone through 4 phone calls, 3 computer reboots, 2 dogs, and a partridge in a pear tree.
I was going to say that.
Just to get the award show going.
Yeah.
But no soundboard.
No soundboard, unfortunately, because I don't want to risk fucking this computer freeze up again. So, yeah, I have to deal with my face in that one spot for the time being. So, whatever.
Today's drink of choice for the award show, we're fancying it up here. Watermelon High Noon.
Hey, High Noon.
Did you say today was the anniversary of Insurrection?
Yeah, some
WWE pay-per-view.
Yeah, I was like the one that had like Triple H versus The Undertaker versus The Rock.
No, the one where the idiots stormed the Capitol.
Oh,
that one.
Yeah.
That one. Different show.
Different direction.
Different company.
Different erection.
Different company.
Different direction.
I don't know. WWE Hall of Famer was involved in both of them.
Allegedly.
Just because he was involved in both of them doesn't mean that it's a different company. Adam Cole's in a different company. We don't talk about that, though.
Fair.
Boom.
Literally, they were trying to go boom.
Yeah, literally. Okay, so before the show goes off the rails, let's get this fucking party started.
Before the show's already been off the rails. What the fuck? You know the last time.
It can't get worse, though, buddy.
Sure can. Fuck Bret Hart.
It always gets worse.
All right, it is, again, the award show for 2022. We're going to review 2021. We've all turned in our nominations. Me, myself, Joe, and Michael have all turned in our nominations. We have all put our order in place, and Michael has
literally handed in a paper ballot.
He did. I have. Hold on.
You really? I actually almost did the same thing. I almost wrote it on paper. No, dude, that's awesome. I almost did the same thing earlier today. I was gonna send a picture on my phone to, hey, Mike, here it is. It's like, fuck it, my phone.
See, Joe tried that, and then he forgot like 6 things, so I had to walk back over and fix this.
I had to actually go back because I texted you earlier this morning for one more selection in our storyline of the year, whatever thing, and it was one missing. So I had to go back on the podcast from last week and rewind it and go through it again and see what Joe said as a nomination.
Matt Cardona versus the World.
Yeah, fucking Joe.
That's a great storyline.
Oh, we'll get there. Are we starting with the award show, or are we going with something else?
Do you want to go trivia first? Get out of the way.
Sure.
I feel like we should talk about the elephant in the room.
Tony Khan's bitch ass.
What the fuck are they doing with the world titles?
I don't know, but I'm liking the chaos.
I think we should have a quick conversation about that. Then we'll do some trivia, then we'll close this thing up with a fancy award show.
All this due to COVID.
Allegedly.
Yeah, I'm starting to question the whole COVID thing because Roman's going to be on SmackDown tomorrow night.
Wait, you think it'll work?
What?
You think it'll work? Is the COVID thing all work?
I mean, I think it's a really convenient excuse to be able to.
Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns.
Right, exactly. If you wanted a day off of work, all you have to do is tell your job, "Hey, I gotta get tested for COVID." Like,
But for best,
and granted, now it's kind of hard to find a test. But if you know you don't have it and you do have your hand, huh? Oh, nice. If you know you don't have it and you get your hands on one of those, you know, you give it's a safe day off basically nowadays.
Yeah.
Oh, he's back. All you gotta do is hit the button. He's an idiot.
Yeah. No, I turn it on. I turn it on. Who knows? The simple pleasure of turning things on, turn back on.
Dude, you're an idiot.
He made like Elsa and thought out.
I got a pen too. How about that? Anyway,
he's like Olaf in the summertime.
I wouldn't put it past Vince.
Jello brain.
Actually, do shit like this. Like they use. I mean, he did with the fucking Gulf War in 1991. Made that whole thing into a fucking story.
I think they realized. Look,
I don't know how you just brought in the Gulf War.
I'm just saying using real things.
Fake scandal.
I'm just saying real life things and interjecting it into a fucking storyline.
But no, I don't think this is interjecting it into the storyline. I don't think that Brock Lesnar is going to come out and try to give Roman Reigns like a booster shot to make sure that he can't miss WrestleMania or something like that.
I hope he does. That'd be awesome.
Right? Just like schedules a doctor's appointment. You get like 5
people. How awesome!
CVS.
Can we talk about how awesome Brock Lesnar was on Monday? South Carolina.
He comes out and attacks Roman and ties his arms to the rope with CVS receipts. Mm-hmm. And then, yeah, right. And then, like, a doctor comes and just gives Roman the fucking booster shot. And then we guarantee that Roman's at WrestleMania. I think it's obvious at this point. I think we're going to end up. Okay, we're going to have.
Welcome to Booster City, bitch.
Yep.
We're going to have Brock versus Roman at WrestleMania. I think that seems to be a guaranteed thing. My question is, are they going the safe route and just giving us champion versus champion and it's for bragging rights? Or are they unifying the titles? Or at least having one guy hold both belts? I suppose you don't actually have to unify the belts because you had Becky 2 belts for a while where she was walking around as a double champion and eventually you just got one of them off of her and that was easy. I could see that being the case where they're not unifying the belts, but you have Brock walking around carrying both titles until someone defeats him for one of them. Oh, you think it'll be Roman? Really?
Or
I'm not used to you defending a storyline where Roman wins. This is gonna be different.
I know. I'm waiting for the swerve here. Or
Bobby Lashley loses to Brock Lesnar at Royal Rumble.
You mean the other way around?
No. Bobby Lashley loses to Brock Lesnar at Royal Rumble.
Okay.
Enters said Royal Rumble. Wins. Night 1. Great state of Texas. Down there at AT&T Stadium. Brock Lesnar. Roman Reigns. Title versus title.
I mean.
Ting Tang Walla Walla Bing Bang walks out night 1 as double champion. He pulls the Kazuchika Okada and defends the title the next night against the winner of the Royal Rumble, one Robert Lashley.
Could we call it Royal Rumble? Are you doing that now?
Royal Rumble.
I like that.
Lashley.
Sound clip right there. Thank you. Marking it down.
That's fine.
8:30.
So night 1 ends with Roman versus Brock. Winner fights Lashley night 2, and Bob walks out with the double title to end WrestleMania weekend.
It does feel like Bobby Lashley is the guy being set the best right now in the situation. Right now, currently. Weekend.
In a hypothetical world, the only way that this makes sense is Bobby wins the title at Rumble, and then Lashley Roman and Brock fight for the head of the table title, and Lashley fights the Royal Rumble winner in the other main event.
Well, okay, or what you could do, too, to go along with the same sort of idea that you were saying, just give it a little of that Missy Elliott, flip it and reverse it.
Yeah,
you have Bobby win the Rumble, and he gets to pick which champion he wants to fight on night 1, and then whoever wins that match fights the other champion on night 2 for the 2 titles together.
Bobby could.
But if I win the Royal Rumble, why would I want to fight for either title? Why wouldn't I want the 2 champions to fight and then me just pick apart whoever's left?
I mean, true. Valid.
Yeah.
He's really that stupid?
Well, I mean, I'm saying that they can make that the stipulation. Like, that's what you have to do.
They could also say that the Cruiserweight title was a good idea, but, we don't believe that.
Here's a question. Do you think Bobby Lashley brought Lesnar as a WrestleMania match?
I would have rather seen it as a WrestleMania match. I'm kind of disappointed that we're seeing
Yeah,
it.
I would have rather seen Brock just, dismantle Kevin Owens or Seth Rollins. Put E in the
That's
Rumble.
Rumble.
Let E have a good showing in the Rumble, eventually lose, and then Lashley win the Rumble, and we get Lashley Brock. But
Right. We're here.
So wait, here's my question for you guys.
Okay.
Do you think that Brock was going to beat Roman on this show?
No.
So at what point do you think the audible was called where they were like, well, we're putting Brock in this match and let's have him win?
The minute they decided to put him in the match.
Okay. Who do you think was going to win the match otherwise?
I think E would have retained until Rumble.
Yeah.
That sucks.
I did hear a rumor, though, that Seth was supposed to win. I don't know if that's true or not.
The way that match was looking leading into it, E winning and keeping it until Rumble and then eventually losing it to Lashley or even Seth was the more believable role.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the real question here is if Bobby doesn't enter the Royal Rumble, who's winning the Rumble?
Now? Big E.
Yeah. Do you go back to E, though?
Yeah, I don't see him as the Rumble winner.
I love E. I'm not saying this as someone that doesn't want E in the title picture. Let's be very clear about that.
Of course.
I love E. I love the New Day. I always have. This doesn't feel like an E.
No, I agree.
This feels like we're going something completely different. Like Damian Priest dropping the title and then randomly winning the Royal Rumble.
Okay.
Left field is where I feel like we're at right now.
What makes sense? The question. What makes more sense?
Well, on paper, going into the Rumble, the obvious answer was Bob.
Of course.
Until this happens.
Yep.
He's a logical choice. I'm not saying that he's not. Drew is hurt. I don't think he's going to be back for the Rumble, so he's out of the equation. Edge won it last year. You're probably not going back there.
No, should you?
So you're looking at Rollins. You're looking at Owens. You're looking at Lashley if he loses, but say hypothetically he wins and you're not putting Brock in the Rumble match.
Who's a realistic out of left field?
AJ, maybe. AJ, maybe. I mean, that's a stretch.
AJ Styles would be an out of left field, but I could buy it.
Be. But if you have to think from a hypothetical standpoint that they're not unifying the titles until summer, let's say hypothetically Roman and Brock don't fight each other till SummerSlam.
Okay.
They each defend their title on one of the nights. They have a moment where at the end of one of the matches, they get into a pull apart, whatever. Brock goes away. We see him at SummerSlam. That's the unification match. Title for title. Who are the two guys that make the most sense to fight for a title? AJ fighting for one of them makes sense. But who does he wrestle? Lashley or does he wrestle versus Roman?
Probably.
Or Brock, I'm sorry. Brock, not Lashley.
I mean, we know he could have a great match with either guy.
Yeah.
We've seen him have a great match with Brock, surprisingly.
Okay, so that's one. Say we pencil in AJ as one.
Okay.
Who fights for the other title?
I don't have a good answer for that.
I don't either.
Is this where we just go safe? We punt? We have RK Bro lose and you put Randy Orton in the title picture?
He's always there.
Okay, but to be fair, though, you could go the route where Lashley loses the match but ends up in the Rumble and wins it.
Correct.
And then you do Lashley maybe versus Roman. Have him go switch over to the other show, use that as that opportunity. Because Lashley and Roman, I think, is still a big money match.
I think that's the route they're going to end up going.
But I think that's safe. Because you can build AJ up on Raw, have him win the Elimination Chamber or something, and have him get his shot at Brock for WrestleMania. There's other routes to get AJ there if that's the route that you want to go. Would love to see AJ Styles actually in the main event fighting for the title at WrestleMania. I think that'd be awesome. And him and Brock could have a great match, and it's not one that AJ has to win. You know what I mean? And that's winning a Rumble is not on AJ's resume.
See, I think what I'm thinking, and if we don't go the safe route, like let's just go left field. E winning the Elimination Chamber and getting a shot at Brock.
Right.
And AJ winning the Rumble and going after Roman, I think are the better two matchups than having those two guys fight the other person.
I think that E Lesnar will have a great match. Just a little bit we saw in that ring in that match.
I think E versus Roman wouldn't hit the same as E versus
Lesnar.
You want to talk about future title scene, like overall future of the WWE title scene?
Tommaso Ciampa.
No.
Braun Breaker
will walk out of the 2023 WrestleMania as WWE champion. Whatever, like I don't know if it's unified at that point. I don't know if it's different belts, but winning one of the belts, 2023 WrestleMania, probably night 2 or whatever. Braun Breaker.
just said, yep, I agree.
I will, like, I don't bet, but like I would feel confident in that.
You don't, we do.
Buck.
Gamble.
What makes you say?
I won't gamble on it. But we thought guys like Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa were coming up to the main roster and having good matches. That guy had a decent match with Ciampa once. He was average in War Games. He's still so green that he can't cut a promo to save his life.
Right.
You tell me by 2024, maybe I can see it.
He's definitely the guy in waiting. I believe Vince is looking at, say, if we get this guy ready in the next year or two, he's the next guy we're building around. He has the look. It's a matter of getting
big thing.
So now you're trying to buy time now with these what you have here. The good thing with WWE right now is they do have options. Now whether or not the options are great or meh is for our consumption, you know. But there are some good options, I believe, here.
Left field choice that I would like to see have a world title match at this year's WrestleMania. Finn Balor.
See, okay. I'd go into that if he hadn't just lost the title match a couple of months ago.
You mean, okay.
I mean, if we're talking about that, then why would we be interested to see Bobby Lashley lose to Brock Lesnar and then fight for a title 3 months later? Fair. That's totally a fair argument.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about Big E, who just lost a 5-way, and we're like, oh man, if he wins the Elimination Chamber and wrestles we'll be excited for a Big E Brock Lesnar match.
Do you think this Drew injury spills into Mania?
I don't think he's back till summer because necks are fucking very weird.
Because the Drew injury definitely throws a lot of wrench in things too.
When did he get injured? I didn't even hear about that.
He said he's been hurt for weeks.
Yeah, his shoulder.
Is that why they had him fight fucking
Madcap?
That's why they did the angle. That's why they did it.
Mansoor, right?
Madcap Mansoor?
Yes.
Madcap Mansoor.
I'll say this. If Drew's out till summer, it's not a bad thing.
No, it's not.
Just reset a little bit, appreciate him a little bit.
He kind of needs it.
No, I would agree with you on that one, Joe. But one thing is clear though, he is still pretty over. Like on SmackDown, he gets a lot of big pops on there, so he is pretty over.
Oh yeah,
you being burnt on a night.
Party until he quit. Like he got fired.
To put Drew and Roman on the same show with only 2 hours of TV time, you're now limiting the rest of the roster.
Right.
Drew should have stayed on Raw. Cut and dry.
Think so?
Yes. Because you have 3 hours of time to fill. You can fill the same allotted time with Drew on Raw. Now, all that time on SmackDown that's Drew McIntyre feuding with fucking morons could have went to the tag division, could have went to somebody like Dolph Ziggler, Shinsuke Nakamura, and his IC title. I mean...
Like you only need one thing I'll agree with you on that is that you only need really one major guy on SmackDown and have a bunch of workhorses on the rest of the roster to fill it out because Roman alone will take about 30 minutes of TV time.
Over.
Yeah, more than that. Yeah, so you just need Shinsuke.
Healthy
yeah.
and the storyline is decent, he'll take more than 30 minutes worth of time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very easily.
No, I see a lot. Like, the only reason I said I believe they moved Drillers because they need another. They wanted one more top guy.
I think Fox wanted another top draw.
Right.
Which is why I still, and our friends over on Recount, I was listening to them before we came live tonight, made a point on why the titles may not be unified. NBC, Universal, Fox, each want their own separate thing.
Right.
They may not want the rosters flowing.
Right.
And then
I do sort of wish, though.
My response in the chat was, everybody wants Roman Reigns. Don't sit here and lie about it.
Of course.
I do sort of wish that if they were going to build things, though, this way, that they had maybe taken the opportunity to build, like, someone coming up at the same time that, like, Roman was dominating things on SmackDown, or vice versa on Raw. It's like the way back in the day when they had NXT, where you had American Alpha and the Revival coming up at the same time and not going near each other or even having a storyline or interacting whatsoever, just both teams being built. So you knew eventually there was going to be a collision. They were on a collision course because what else would you do when both teams are being built? It's like the top two teams in the NFC. You know, eventually they're going to end up playing each other because they're on that collision course. It's just a matter of seeing them get there. That's kind of fun to watch. So it would have been kind of fun for the last 6 months. Like, Drew was out there building his way to the top, so that it felt like eventually, oh, man, of course he's going to fight Roman Reigns eventually. Like, where else would this go? And they didn't really do that. And maybe now, it's a moot point because he's out injured anyway. But it would have been fun to see somebody get built like that.
Hey, Joe, by the way, who are the two top teams in NFC?
What?
Who are the two top teams in NFC in your opinion?
I haven't paid enough attention to football to answer that question.
Yes, you were lying.
I thought you asked me who the top two names in NXT are. I was like, Braun Breaker, Solo Sika. I don't know.
No, top two teams in NFC. I just wonder if you knew that.
Main event or one of the WrestleMania matches: AJ Styles versus Grayson Waller.
No, I think that'll be done before WrestleMania.
Is that a prediction or a spoiler?
What?
Is that a prediction or a spoiler?
That's a shoot, my friend.
Yeah.
The way I look at it, if we wait too much longer, there ain't gonna be anybody left in NXT. They're all just gonna be part of the main roster because he just keeps fucking cutting people and coaches and everything else. So,
here's a question leading up to that, because obviously this is a wide-ranging topic here.
Yeah.
What are the possibilities of NXT actually just no longer existing? I mean, I don't know when they're. I don't know when a contract ends with the USA. Is there a possibility? Someone brought up a couple on Twitter today about like the possibility of, like, let's say USA says we don't want this anymore, which I doubt because I think NXT, even with the numbers they give now, is still pretty.
They would pay them more money to give them a third hour of NXT.
I agree with you on that one, but they fucking keep gutting that fucking roster, dude. God.
Well, I mean, they didn't gut anybody up from the active roster. It was
right.
It was the coaches this time.
Right, and of course William Regal.
But I mean, he was a coach. His on-screen role had relatively diminished in the last couple months. He came out and said, "War games."
And our boy Samoa. Samoa.
For you, go.
I won't as much right now.
Right now, the biggest thing here, this is where I can leave the NXT conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Samoa Joe better show up at Jonathan Gresham's promotion and like wrestle somebody by like the fourth fucking.
Can he bring an ROH title belt too? Can we just have 3 of them?
I'm not opposed.
All I know is
let's have an 8-man tournament to like unify 8 different titles.
I know
they're all ROH titles.
So this is the first ever Ultimo Dragon Draggy 8 belt invitational.
Yes.
You have to be a champion somewhere.
Yes.
Invited into the bracket to then have matches on the second episode of Trimius where we'll determine the true Ring of Honor World Champion.
Yep.
Okay.
All I know is that right now, between now and Mania, it seems like right now they're shining up for only one guy. Bobby! That's him. He's the guy, I think, right now in waiting.
Hey, his soundboard worked.
It worked finally. Yes, it did.
Bob.
Blah, blah, blah.
I thought that was the case, and then he ended up being the number one contender for the title.
Trust me, I was like, okay, it's gonna be Seth or KO.
Mm-hmm.
Brock hit him with an F5 real quick. Yeah, yeet. Match over. Nope.
For the record, that was a great match.
Oh, for the record, I'm off Saturdays now, so if we want to do something for
Rumble,
we can.
Yes, I'm game. I'm game. And by the way, I'm loving these Saturday.
Just make sure you turn down the levels of cocaine that we give other members that will be here before they show up, so they don't go insane. Run from room to room and spoil the matches 5 minutes before they fucking happen on our TV.
Dude, that was so fucked up, bro. I almost smacked my kid. Like, what are you doing? Stop saying that.
I mean, at one point, I believe my exact threat was, if you don't stop, I'm going to hang you upside down by your feet over the balcony. But whatever.
Fucking guy, dude.
I'll lock him outside.
I have no problem with that. Anyway, trivia time.
Do it.
My thing does actually work. I'll get there real quick. There it goes.
We're restarting now because the year is over.
Okay, so it's my go.
I am the reigning, defending, undisputed champion of the world. So I'm 1-0 champion. Again, for those of you at home that don't know, we start with 1,000 points. Wager like Jeopardy, and we go from there. So it is the 6th of January. So let me put that on my spreadsheet. Ernest is going to end up with
Red cheeks.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, here's one thing now. I'm guaranteed.
What is fuck Bret Hart?
Oh my God, that'll be next week. Big James Nace will be on the show next week.
Did you hear Ernest say spread cheeks? That's what I heard.
Yeah,
I did.
That's what I said.
Write that down.
Write that down. A sound clip. Yep. 24, 20. Okay.
Spread cheeks.
Right. Yes. Anyway, here's
the porn star.
Here's your trivia question.
You were invited to come.
Yeah. Since this is Royal Rumble season, here it is. This person is the youngest Royal Rumble winner in WWE history. Okay, I need this person's name and their age as well. Gotta get both right. And the clock starts now. Again, as we are now in Royal Rumble season, the question is, this person is the youngest Rumble winner in WWE history. The person's name and age. Wagers. Michael?
100.
Joseph?
I'm going to go 25.
Killing me, dude.
And I'm going to tell you the answer is not fucking Batista. That man was like 60 when he won the Rumble.
Okay, you can't go 25. 100 is the minimum.
All right, then I guess 100.
So, Mike, go first.
Who is John Cena and 24?
Joseph?
My gut is saying who is Randy Orton, but I have no idea the age. Let's go 26.
You're both wrong. Who was Brock Lesnar? 25.
Oh.
Which means right now I'm winning. That means year's over. I win Jeopardy this year. Goodbye.
Don't worry. Just wait till next week whenever you get fucking negative fucking 600.
Oh, hey, welcome to 2023. How you guys doing?
We got to lure him in with a question next week. Like, he's got to think that he's going to know the answer. Like, the topic needs to be
okay.
like
the
topic needs to be like Paul Orndorff matches.
Wait, so
but it's got to be like a match he had in WCW that like fucking Chuckle Feet over here has never seen.
So I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm actually pretty stunned you didn't know the answer to this. I thought you both have gotten this right. honestly.
Well, the thing was, is I went back and I was with Joe. I thought it was Orton at first, but then I was like, Cena won when he was very still fresh. Well, I was trying to figure maybe it was Cena.
I think Orton was the youngest champion, right?
He was at the time. He's not
Right.
anymore. Somebody else has been younger.
I don't even remember when Brock won the Rumble.
02?
2002?
03. Sorry, 03.
Yeah, it was because it was he won the title, lost it at Survivor Series to Big Show.
Right.
Won the Rumble that January.
Okay.
And nearly end his career was life in Mania.
Oh, right, when he fought Angle. Okay.
Yeah, where he killed himself.
Shooting star press. Anyway. All right, fellas, we waited 30 minutes. Let's do it. It is time for the Take 3 Wrestling Awards show. We do this every year at this time as we put a bow on 2021. So, Michael, do the honors of revealing who's what.
All right, welcome in. That time. It's my time to shine. The award ceremony has begun. We will start with Show of the Year. For those of you that listened to last week's show, you know who the nominees were. We're going to run it down real quick. In ninth place, receiving 8 points. So the way that this worked out, let's break this down real quick. Each of us had our list that I so elegantly put together.
Mm-hmm.
For every first place vote was 10 points, all the way down to 2 points for your ninth place vote, since there was only 9 nominees in every category, except for the Mr. Brody Lee Wrestler of the Year award, which we have our Wrestler of the Week, is how we decided to earn that. That being said, I will go down the list in order from 9 to 1, and then I will give you guys a point to talk about why you voted for a show where you did, and then we'll move on to our next topic from there.
Okay.
So again, in ninth place of Show of the Year was Night 1 of Wrestle Kingdom. It received 8 points. In eighth was AEW Grand Slam. It received a total of 9 points. In seventh place was the 2021 Royal Rumble. It had 13 points.
Mm-hmm.
In sixth was Money in the Bank. It had 18 points.
That's low.
We had a tie between Full Gear and Double or Nothing in fourth place with 19 points. Crown Jewel was in third with 20. In second place was All Out with 25 points. And the Show of the Year for the Take 3 Wrestling podcast was Night 1 of WrestleMania last year from Raymond James Stadium. It finished with 29 points. Real quick, I know you said that you thought one specific show was low, and I feel like that was because of something that I did. I actually voted Full Gear as my second favorite show of 2021. Really? I love the Adam Hangman Page Kenny Omega storyline and feud, and I felt that culmination mixed with the better women's match, even though Britt Baker was the slam dunk winner. I feel personally I had All Out in fourth place because I feel All Out gets very, very, very swayed, not because of in-ring things, but because of people that debuted at the end of the show. So that's why I did not have it as high as both of you did. You both had it at first and second. So I had it down all the way in fourth place because the debuts weren't enough to swing the good matches that happened on other shows for me.
So wasn't Full Gear the one that had all like the fucking? You had the street fight one, and then you had the 6-man tag, and then the 8-man tag. That bothered me. That's why the show was not as good as I thought it should have been. The point about the Omega and Hangman, you know, match of course was fantastic. FTR and Lucha, fantastic. But the other shit made it a little more a drag. And I get the point about the debuts and stuff, but even the show was still great. I thought I was so that was probably the most engaged was on a pay per view, outside of maybe Mania and I'd say Money in the Bank.
Well, I'll say this: voting
All Out had a really bad Big Show QT Marshall match. That means it automatically can't be.
That's true. Is that the Big Show? That Big Show QT Marshall.
And it went off second to last, by the way. So I digress. Go to the floor.
I'll just say this.
That's Tony Khan. Go ahead next.
I'll say this: voting for number 1 was a no-brainer for me because we were there, and that always adds something to a show for me. I honestly couldn't remember half the shows like watching them from the year. Like I remember most of the AEW shows, but I wasn't really recalling a ton about the WWE shows other than like SummerSlam and stuff like that. So, but I recall WrestleMania Night 1. I recall that because that was a great show. It was great to finally be back at a live show after, a year and a half or however long because of COVID. It was nice. It was nice to be back. And in general, it was just really like that to me was a great memory, and that's why that got my first number one vote.
No, that makes sense. Would have been wrong if I put AEW Dynamite from July 6th, 2021. Went wrong.
Yeah.
Pick a one Dynamite show the fucking year. I was like 52. Anyway, all right. I mean, other than that, I think Money in the Bank remains one of the most underrated shows of the year, though, because it was the first pay-per-view that had with crowds. You had the Cena surprise, of course.
Besides WrestleMania.
Edge and Roman was a fantastic match, I thought. Big E getting the Money in the Bank. I thought Money in the Bank is one of the most underrated shows of the year.
I'll say this: that I'm happy to see Crown Jewel get some love because that was unexpectedly a great show. We usually go into the Saudi Arabia shows expecting them to just be overglorified house shows, and this was not.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, you a commentary of the Goldberg Lashley match, Joe, especially you.
Yeah.
You like.
Oh yeah, and obviously the Seth and Edge Hell in a Cell match. Like WWE voted that as their own match of the year.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I went WWE heavy on my list this year.
Yeah, same.
All right. Storyline of the year.
Here we go.
In ninth place, it was Dan Lambert being booed by everyone. In eighth place, it was Maxwell Jacob Friedman trying to kill Chris Jericho. In seventh, it was the American Dream Nightmare trolling the internet. In sixth, it was the implosion of the Undisputed Era.
Should be a little higher than that personally, but I get it.
In fifth place, it was Roman and Brock Lesnar with 19 points.
Oh, okay.
In fourth place was Roman and John Cena with 21 points. In third place was Matt Cardona versus the Independent Wrestling World with 22 points. Number 2 was Adam Hangman Page versus Kenny Omega with 23 points. And the storyline of the year is Seth Rollins versus Edge with 26 points.
No surprise. I mean, they did what, 3 pay-per-view matches or 2 last year?
I want to say 3
pay-per-view matches.
I think 2 pay-per-view matches and 1 like Raw match or SmackDown.
Yeah. I mean, they all knocked out of the park. Undisputed Era, the crumbling on Undisputed Era, I wish a little higher, but again, this list was tough in a way. The matches, the people.
I had it 4th. Joe had it 5th.
Right. I think I had it 6th, right, or 5th.
No, you had it like 3rd.
Oh, really?
You had it 4th. I had it 5th. Joe had it 6th.
Okay.
My number 1 was Matt Cardona versus the independent wrestling scene.
Yes.
That was cool.
Matt Cardona literally became the biggest star in independent pro wrestling in the course of a year.
That is correct.
And that's impressive, actually.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, unrelated, but just for a second, can we talk about how Jeff Jarrett's now involved in GCW?
Yeah. That shit the other night?
Ooh. He blasted Effie in the face with a guitar.
Yes. This is fucking crazy. Jeff Jarrett was in a stand to now I'm starting to love the guy. His podcast is great, and now this shit. Come on, man.
Can we talk real quick, because I brought up Matt Cardona?
Okay.
About the fact that Joey Janela sent him, quote, fake photos of him and Chelsea Green by a pool doing a photo shoot for Pabst Blue Ribbon like it was Ric Flair and Macho Man with Elizabeth.
Really?
I'll send you guys the link on Twitter. It's fucking hilarious.
Oh, shit. Okay, I want to see that.
I'll send it to you. It's hilarious. He mailed him like the pictures in like a box, like it was a wedding present because Matt and Chelsea just got married.
Right.
And he did an unboxing on like his like Twitch page or whatever, and it was the photos. And now it's just on Twitter like, oh my god, I can't believe that she would do this to me. And like he's freaking out, like he's playing the role of Macho Man. And
That's
Janela, like,
awesome.
I thought you should know, brother. I know I didn't do it, but I just thought you should know. And I was like, oh my God, this is Flair Savage all over again.
Growing, and more seductive than sex.
Anyway.
All right. Speaking of women's wrestlers, let's transition to our women's wrestler of the year.
This is interesting.
We had a two-way tie for 18th place with 9 points each for members of the UK roster, Miko Satomura and Kaylee Ray. 7th place, Ernest's favorite, Thunder Rosa.
That's too fucking low, but whatever, I get it. No belts.
Is it though?
No belts. He didn't get any title, so I get it.
But
We
she
have a
hasn't
tie.
done anything since coming to AEW.
We have a tie for 5th place with 15 points each between Charlotte Flair and Deonna Purrazzo.
Really?
In 4th place, we have Sasha Banks with 20 points. 3rd place was Becky Lynch with 23. 2nd place, 28 total points for Bianca Belair. And the Take 3 Wrestling Women's Wrestler of the Year is none other than the Doctor, Britt Baker.
I think that totally makes sense to me.
Yeah, I think with her, Bianca honestly was the last quarter of the year for her after she lost the belt.
Oh yeah.
Well, you had Bianca at 1. Me and Joe
That's
both
right.
had Bianca at 2, with
2.
you having Britt at 2 and me and Joe having Britt at 1. So I think it was a 2-women race, and the rest of it was just going to kind of settle itself out from there.
Right.
I will say this: the biggest blow to Thunder Rosa for you was myself. I had her in 8th place on my ballot.
Well,
Joe made the exact point. She hasn't really done anything.
No, you're right. You're right. Like other than the big match against Britt in February, yeah.
That turned into Britt Baker becoming the champion soon after.
Right. Yeah.
Deonna Purrazzo was the Impact Wrestling champions as well as the Reina de la Renta champion. Miko Satomura is the current UK champion. Kaylee Ray was the UK champion for months. And I actually had her. I think I had her actually below Thunder Rosa. I had Kaylee Ray last. I had Charlotte Flair towards the bottom as well. I
did too.
What?
I'm pretty sure I had Charlotte Flair near the bottom too.
Me and you both had her in, I guess, what would be
7th.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds right.
All right, next list.
Next up is a fun one. The Take 3 Wrestling first ever Hulk Hogan Paul Orndorff Feud of the Year award. I hope you understand that we're going to come up with names for all of these, and I don't care which. There will be one that is going to be the Jushin Thunder Liger Award. Just letting you guys know that, but
Should that be Feud of the Year, you think?
No. If we were doing like best high flyer, that's the Jushin Thunder Liger Award.
Ooh, okay.
We might add that for 2023. Let's leave that one on the docket.
Okay.
All right. Feud of the Year. In 9th place. It culminated in Crown Jewel between the two men here, Bob Lashley, Bill Goldberg. It had 12 total points. We then had a 3-way tie for 6th place. All of these had 13 points. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. The Inner Circle versus American Top Team. Maxwell Jacob Friedman versus Phil from Chicago.
Interesting.
In 5th place, a match that culminated in a hell of a slugfest for the United Kingdom Championship. Ilya Dragunov versus Walter with 15 points.
Mm-hmm.
In 4th place, the Lucha Bros versus FTR with 19 points. In 3rd place, it was Roman Reigns versus John Cena with 26 points. Excuse me, that was 25.
Okay.
In 2nd place with 26 points is Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. And the winner of the 2021 Feud of the Year for the Take 3 Wrestling Podcast, the Hulk Hogan Paul Orndorff Feud of the Year, is Edge versus Seth Rollins.
That makes sense today.
Number one is obviously the best. I mean, there's no. Did anybody challenge that at all?
No, it was a clean sweep.
Okay. Yeah. That's correct.
Earnest had the MJF CM Punk very far up his list. I had it dead last.
Okay. No matches, right? Is that what it is?
not just the fact that there have been no matches, that there really hasn't even been besides their verbal sparring, there really hasn't even been like an altercation where they've like made contact with each other.
I know that shit settled a little bit. I get it, but I appreciate the long-term storytelling here too, to some degree.
I'm not saying anything negative about the long-term storytelling, but my point is, I just feel that if you're going to have a feud, and I'm going to bring this up because Joe decided to vote for Dan Lambert in some kind of positive way here, putting the Inner Circle versus American Top Team as his third favorite storyline or feud of 2000.
I'm telling you, that storyline to me reminded me of like an actually great storyline from the Attitude Era. You know what I mean? Like that was everything about that storyline and the feud and the promos in it and stuff was fun to me. It was just fun.
Fuck Dan Lambert.
I mean, yes, but
Definitely fuck that Lambert.
But yes, but exactly.
But it wasn't because of the storyline. I just think he's a douche.
Yeah.
Well, yes, no, I don't disagree, but he can cut a promo.
He has serious go-away heat.
But the thing is, if he would, here's my only problem with them. The feud really should have been Lambert bringing in MMA guys to feud with the Inner Circle.
Correct.
Having two guys that don't need him involved in it, in Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky, like those guys are good enough at cutting promos. They don't need Dan Lambert to cut promos for that.
I agree. Totally agree with that one.
If you're putting someone that can't cut a promo with Lambert and American Top Team, at least that makes sense. But Ethan Page can cut a fucking promo.
Scorpio's not either.
Would they have been given the opportunity on TV or had the chance to be in pay-per-view against the Inner Circle?
I mean, Ethan Page did debut in that ladder match for the number one.
True.
So it wasn't like he came in with no reaction.
And Scorpio Sky gets a push once every 180 days.
Correct.
Alrighty.
All right, let's transition. The tag team of the year. We had a tie in 8th place between the teams of Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston and the NXT UK former tag team champions of Pretty Deadly. They each had 9 points. In 6th place, the new AEW World Tag Team Champions, Jurassic Express, Luchasaurus, and Jungle Boy. They tied with MSK with 14 points each. We have a tie for 4th place between two teams. We have the Usos.
Oh, yeah, top. Okay.
You hit the bell every other fucking time, guy. Come on. And they tied with FTR. In 3rd place, 22 points, the secondary former AEW Tag Team Champions, Nick Jackson, the Young Bucks. In 2nd place, the now former AEW World Tag Team Champions, Penta Jr., Rey Fenix. And the 2021 Tag Team of the Year is none other than Matt Riddle, Randy Orton, RK Bro, 29 total points.
Clean sweep, right? Gotta be clean sweep here.
Nope.
Oh, fuck. Who's the one that did it? I had number 1. Ooh, who'd you have number 1?
I had Penta and Phoenix.
You had my team? The team that
as much as their song annoys the fuck out of me, I feel like they had the better matches and the better feuds. I felt like RK Bros feud with AJ and Omos was just kind of like a stepping stone to get AJ and Omos to break up. It really wasn't to get over Riddle and Orton as a team. It was more to get those guys separated from each other. So I went the safe route of who I thought had everything more inclusive this year, because the feud with FTR, the feud with the Bucks earlier in the year for the Lucha Bros had them going the entire way.
Okay. Alrighty. I mean, other than the 1 and 2, no other issue with the list.
No, that one was pretty cut and dry.
Joe?
Yeah.
It did feel like a little bit of a letdown year for tag teams, though. A little bit overall.
What?
Probably a letdown year for that team. I mean, when you get past Usos, a couple of teams, it wasn't maybe because WWE didn't really prioritize that much this year.
I voted based on just who I found the most entertaining, and
Right.
I think RK Bro has done something that a lot of teams don't do, which is manage to become a main event act in WWE. That's pretty rare and pretty hard, and in the last few years, it's only really happened in the hands of like the Usos and the New Day. So seeing RK Bro in that same realm and seeing that they're still around, because I think we all thought that they'd be done a long sooner than now, and they're still going strong as a team. So I think they deserve some love somewhere, and this seems like the place to give it to them.
Right. Makes total sense. All right, Mike.
All right, WWE Wrestler of the Year. In ninth place, he is the current King of the Ring. It is none other than Xavier Woods. He had 7 points. In a tie for 7th place, we had Charlotte Flair and Seth Rollins with 12 points each.
No Charlotte Love in this show, huh? Other than me, I guess. I don't want to actually kind of like her.
Joe had her dead last. Me and you had her in the same spot.
Okay. There's another list also. I had it like in the middle somewhere. I think it was the
Women's.
Yeah.
And there's a tie for. Is there a tie? No. In 6th place was Becky Lynch. She had 14 points. 5th place was Edge with 17.
Whoa.
4th place was Bianca Belair with 21 points. 3rd place, the now former WWE champion Big E with 23 points. The man that will face Brock Lesnar at Royal Rumble in 2nd place is Bobby Lashley with 26. Bobby! And a clean sweep for the head of the table, the tribal chief, Mr. Ooh-ee, ooh-ah, ting-tang, walla walla, bing bang, Roman Reigns.
Take 3. Acknowledge me.
That one wasn't hard.
I mean, fucking the guy is right now the biggest star in wrestling, period.
Yeah.
That it is what it is, man.
Mm-hmm.
They finally found the fucking way to get him to the fucking top. Turn him fucking heel.
All right. Our AEW Wrestler of the Year.
This should be fun.
In 9th place, War King, Eddie Kingston. He had 10 points. In 8th place, the former Impact Wrestling World Champion Christian with 11 points.
Sorry.
In 7th place, Daniel Bryan Danielson with 12 points. In 6th place is Maxwell Jacob Friedman with 16 points. We have a tie for 4th between the current TNT champion Cody and the former AEW World Heavyweight Champion Kenny Omega with 18 points each. In 3rd place, we have Darby I'm All In with 20 points. We have a unanimous 2nd place vote for the current AEW Women's Champion Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, with 27 points. That leaves none other than the unanimous selection for the AEW Wrestler of the Year, the reigning, defending, current AEW World Heavyweight Champion, the Hangman, Adam Page.
No surprises here, really, to be honest with you.
I have a surprise. The fact that Joe voted Kenny Omega dead last because he forgot to put him on his list.
Really?
Yeah, he turned in his sheet at first, and I said, hey, did you forget to put Kenny on your list because you're like, just don't want to vote for him? And his response was, no, I completely forgot. I was like, okay, well, where do you want to put him? He goes, hey, just put him last.
Wow. Below Eddie Kingston, too. Wow. Oof. Okay.
Joe has some rough voting standards.
Yeah. Joe, at least you have standards, Joe. Oh.
With some things.
So yeah.
All right. And last but certainly not least, and I'm gonna bring this one in for the
yes, sir.
The Mr. Brody Lee, for those of you watching on the YouTube, Violent Gentleman, a hockey brand out of Canada, made a John Huber memorial T-shirt when he passed away.
Awesome.
We've decided to create the Wrestler of the Year award. We're going to name it, and we're going to keep it named after the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Brody Lee. The Mr. Brody Lee Wrestler of the Year award. We have 10 total people that made the finals here. In 10th place is Becky Lynch.
Now, quick, before we go, this is all based on our actual year from
Correct.
January, actual rest of the week, every week until now. So there we go.
In 10th place with 24 total points is the Ma, Becky Lynch. In
Not
eighth
bad.
place, we have a tie. 25 points each for these two gentlemen. The now new NXT champion, one Braun Breaker, and the former IWGP heavyweight champion, Will Ospreay.
Oh, okay.
In seventh place, 26 points. He wrestled for two major companies in 2021. It's Daniel Bryanson. In sixth place, the man who dropped the IWGP World Heavyweight title on Tuesday morning, it is Shingo Takagi with 27 points. In fifth place, she is the current reigning, defending, undisputed AEW Women's World Champion, the Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. She had 30 points. In fourth place, Ernest's favorite. He's fighting in the main event at Royal Rumble. 33 total points for Bobby. Bobby! Lashley.
Awesome!
Bobby! Surprisingly, in third place, it's not a member of the AEW roster. It's not a member of the WWE roster. It is none other than a former IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. It is Kota Ibushi. In second place, she main evented night one of WrestleMania and walked out with the title, and she didn't even need you at all. It is the EST of NXT with the PhD and the onomatopoeia. It is Bianca Belair.
And of course, number one. We know who number one is. Come on, let's go.
And the winner of the 2021 Mr. Brody Lee Wrestler of the Year Award with 63 total points, the head of the table, Mr. Ooh-ee-ooh-ah ting tang walla walla bing bang, the man, the myth, the legend, Roman Reigns.
Acknowledge me. Yeah. I think if you follow the show throughout the year, for example, the big joke was every week, where is this guy? Bobby! He's 27. He's 29. He's 30. But we said that when we were doing until last month, we're going to do the tally for January to June. And Bobby had a very, very hot first half of the year.
Yep.
He'll catch up. And he cracked top 5. So Bobby did well.
So for those of you at home, and this is the good transition because we can transfer right over to the Wrestler of the Week discussion. We've changed Wrestler of the Week.
Yeah.
Thank you to our good friends over at 3 Count who gave us the idea to transition it this way completely. So kudos to them for getting the wheel started. Now, me and my infinite wisdom, I've decided to take their approach, and I'm going to make it something that we like to do, myself and Ernest, on the Football is Awesome podcast, which is Power Rankings.
Power Rankings!
So, every month, we're going to have our shows, mostly on Thursdays, in case, unless something happens, which we'll work through. Each week, we're all going to nominate 3 wrestlers. And me and Joe changed this because I'm going to make this even more fun for us, Ernest.
More fun.
Everyone's going to nominate 3 guys. We have 4 shows in a month. That means we're averaging 9 a night. That means we're having 36 total wrestlers will be eligible to be voted on for the month. But only 25 will receive points to the Mr. Brody Lee Wrestler of the Year Award. So that means that we're going to take 36 different acts. Tag teams will count as one. You will not split up tag team members.
Okay.
But tag teams that do get points will each get the same amount of points. They will not be chopped up like they were in the past. So if you vote Jurassic Express in 7th place, that would get them the equivalent of like 18 points. They will Jungle Boy will get 18 points and Luchasaurus will get 18 points. It will not be the act getting 18 points.
Okay.
You cannot put 2 people that cut promos in as one vote. They would have to take up 2 of your spots. So if you want to put CM Punk and MJF in, that's 2 of your 3.
MJF has no chance to win this award ever because he doesn't wrestle.
I'm breaking this down now so that there's no questions whenever you look at this and I call you an idiot whenever you do this later in the year.
You'll do it anyway because that's just what you do.
Factual. So that being said, I am not asking you guys to give me your wrestlers of the week beforehand because I want this to be a natural ebb and flow. I want us to do this on the show every week. Now, the end of the month, once everybody's voted, we have our 36. 25 people will be your power ranking. Your power ranking will be scored accordingly. The combined power ranking of the three of us will be who gets the points and will be the standings going into the next month.
Okay, and we're doing top 10? Are we doing...
No, you're going to do 25 out of the 36. So you're going to rank 25. So there's going to be 36 there's 36 entries. You're ranking 25 of them.
The other 11 will be... Goodbye.
Gone. See you later. So in a hypothetical statement, last year, you nominated Jim Ross. Joe nominated Jimmy Rave when he unfortunately passed away. I voted for Candace whenever she announced that her and Johnny were expecting a child.
Right.
Obviously, the three of them, you give them that spot so we can talk about them on our show. Probably not going to get voted for in the Power 25.
What we'll probably do is we'll probably make a spot in the show somewhere to give final thoughts on and to get
correct.
Right.
When we go over the bracket or the power ranking 25 through 1, we'll make it where we can talk about, okay, well, these 11 unfortunately didn't make the cut. Here's our reasons why, and then we move on to the month of February. So with that being said, let's talk wrestlers of the week.
God. This is easy for me.
One of you guys go first. I don't care.
Jay Cargill. Boom.
All right. Ernest is nominating the one, the only, the first ever AEW Women TBS champion, Jade Cargill. Joe, you got anybody?
For my number one?
Sure, it doesn't have to be one, but it could be 3.
Let's see.
You need help?
I'm kind of curious to see where else you're going with your list.
Me?
Yeah.
I mean, I must state the obvious ones out to shoot to see how this formula works.
All right, I'm going with the fucking easiest one out of all of them since you guys just want to keep beating around the bush. Give me the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. Give me Kazuchika Okada.
Okay. I'll choose Brock Lesnar for Joe.
No, I don't want.
That's your second pick is Brock Lesnar then, Ernest.
Fuck it, I don't give a fuck. Well, me and him doesn't matter. I'm trying to help out here.
All right, so Ernest right now has Brock Lesnar and Jade Cargill. I have Kazuchika Okada. Joe, make a formal selection, sir.
You know what? Give me Carmelo Hayes.
All right, he has the new North American, or the current North American and new Cruiserweight champion, Carmelo Hayes. My second pick, we're going back to Wrestle Kingdom. We're taking the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. Give me El Desperado.
Okay, my turn.
Sure.
Let me go with Now here's a question: like, if I nominate, I nominate Brock this week, I can't do it again next week, can I?
You could, to limit the amount of people that make the list. I mean, if he does something worth nominating, I don't see why you couldn't. It's the nomination period.
Okay.
But they have to do something substantial that week. If you wait and try to fucking hold somebody over for next week, it's gonna get squashed.
Right. Okay.
Like, it's got to be from Friday to Thursday. Like, it's got to be in this.
Okay.
period.
Okay. Give me Jurassic Express. They just won the tag titles.
All right, Joe, your pick.
Has anyone said Braun Breaker?
Nope.
Gotta have him in there.
Oh, absolutely, without question.
All right, so Joe takes Braun Breaker. Oh, trying to figure out where I want to go with my last one. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go for it. I've talked about. I was so glad that he was having a match. He had a match at Wrestle Kingdom. I'm going to go All Japan with my selections this week. Give me Katsuyori Shibata.
The last go around here for me.
No, you already done.
I'm done. Okay. So I had Brock, I had Jade, and I had Jurassic.
So it's just me left. Anyone?
I had Okada, Desperado, and Katsuyori Shibata. Joe's had Carmelo Hayes, Braun Breaker, and the now last person.
Huh. Let's see. Where do I go with my last spot?
I mean, you can go. I'll throw some names out to you to see if you like it. You can go Edge.
No.
Right. You can go.
I mean, you could go the route that we talked about that you don't want to do, but Hangman did have a fucking great match with Bryan.
I saw the clips of that last night. This morning. It's fucking incredible.
Oh yeah, no. It was a match.
It's excellent.
You could go with Mandy Rose for retaining the women's title in the triple threat match.
Also, we can't have the same people either, right? Can we?
Nope.
So we're basically doing this like this every week on the show, like this, like a little segment. Okay. Makes sense now. It'll probably take a couple weeks to get hang of this, but once we
I'm trying to think of who else did something that was. I mean, you could go with Evil.
Becky retained also too. I mean, it wasn't a great match, but she retained.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Hangman.
Give me. Let's see. I don't know. Just give me Paige for now. I don't think he makes it through to the end of the month.
We'll see.
All right. So, the formal nominees for the first three for each of us. Ernest has Jade Cargill, Brock Lesnar, Jurassic Express. I have Kazuchika Okada, El Desperado, and Katsuyori Shibata. Joe has Carmelo Hayes, Braun Breaker, and the AEW World Champion Hangman Adam Page. Coming up this week, things that we could watch to potentially get votes. Impact has a pay-per-view on Saturday, as well as I think the Battle of the Belts with the rematch between Cody and Sammy Guevara, as well as Britt Baker versus Riho. I think there's some independent shows that have some stuff going on, and then of course you have Raw and SmackDown.
Riho.
She's a hoe.
Oh.
Wait, that's your favorite wrestler?
It's cool.
So again, we'll just leave our nominees here. We'll talk about all the nominees. We'll do the power ranking at the end of the month. That last month, the January 27th show will be the last week that we do the nominees. And then on the February 3rd show, we'll release the point totals for the month of January.
Does that need to be a built-in topic?
Yes. Because then you're going to nominate people for the February list on the same show.
Right. Okay. So make sure. So we got to remember we get a month to. Okay.
I'll make sure I remind you whenever we talk about things because again on that February, I believe it's the 3rd. We'll talk about that and then we'll bring up the month of February. That's the only time that I'm ever need your guys' point totals first so I can tabulate the final ballot. I
will say that show will probably end up having 2 built-in plot topics because the Royal Rumble also will be its finale.
Reviewing.
If we want, I mean, it'll be like 5 days after the fact, but if you want us to review it, we could.
Yeah. Also, for those of you at home, some stuff coming up on the show. We will be doing a watch along.
Yes.
On next week's episode, which is the 1992 Royal Rumble, and we'll potentially have our friend Big Jim to have a town hall meeting on #FuckBret Hart.
I feel like I'll be the mediator here because I'm a little more in between you two because I see both your points.
On January 20th episode, we're gonna have the 2020 Royal Rumble watch along, which will be the Earnest masturbates to every night, as well as maybe a couple other topics there, and then of course the end of the month on the 27th we'll have the preview for the 2022.
So we already got built-in topics for the next couple weeks. So
we do. So we got some stuff. We got some stuff lined up for you guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. But that's the award show.
Joe.
That's the new wrestler of the week. He's asleep.
Joe. He's awake.
For those of you at home, myself and Ernest are still doing our watch along.
I am on 90. I am on 98.
I have 98 on right now.
I actually started earlier today, but
I don't have the Rumble match on. I just turned it on because I wanted something in the background, and it's getting ready to do the Rock Mankind match, the really bad fucking I Quit match.
Oh, with all the chair shots.
Or is that 99?
It's 99.
Oh, cool! I did finish 98 then.
Yeah. I might actually sidebar to the Taker and Michaels match after that. I'm trying to avoid that because I don't want to waste any time, but God, Shawn Michaels and Taker Rumble 98.
I'm gonna watch the '99 Royal Rumble and update my rankings because I want to do something where we actually talk about our rankings from our rewatch on one of the episodes. So should be fun. Too bad Joe can't get in on it because he'll sleep through every fucking Rumble match.
Yeah. For the record, I finished 97 today. 97 is very underrated.
Yeah.
Very underrated. Dude, I tweeted earlier today. The way they booked Stone Cold throughout the entire match, fucking
The only
genius.
thing I didn't like about the '97 Rumble, to be brutally honest with you,
Was that
retardedly long entranceway in the Alamo Dome.
Yeah.
They could have taken the clown car from the fucking entranceway to the fucking
Yeah.
mat. It was so bad.
A little long. Yeah, a little too long. But otherwise, the way they booked Stone Cold that whole match, man, genius. And again, this is still the early stages of Austin 316. He had not fully, glossed in the gimmick yet. But
started turning bitches and
yeah, he was starting to do that a little bit here and there, but he was still Mania 13 changed a lot of shit. Let's put it that way.
I enjoyed him doing it to Pig. Phineas I got him.
Yeah.
Pig.
Anyway, that guy on my right is falling asleep here.
Falling
Yeah,
asleep.
that's what happens.
This guy right here is awake.
We wait until fucking whatever time to record.
Yeah, but it's all good. So hopefully next week we'll have a big game on the show. Next week might be a 3-topic show if we could. Maybe we'll see. The Rumble could take about
That watch along's gonna eat up some time.
an hour.
I'll tell you this much: myself and Joe will probably be together for that episode. We'll probably be sitting in the living room with Craig. You won't get the normal ambiance behind me because I'll be watching it on the TV. I'm not gonna watch it on my iPad while we try to fucking record. So yeah. Other than that, that's the award show. Mr. Brody Lee Wrestler of the Year is Roman Reigns.
Yep. Surprise.
We're gonna keep the Brody Lee name running for as long as we have a show. Until then, Big Rig forever, and that's all I got.
All right. Any last thoughts? No, Johnny, last thoughts before we go.
I have a puppy.
Huh?
I have a puppy.
Think cute.
If you haven't, go watch Wrestle Kingdom. It's actually a really good show.
Is it really? Okay.
Zero chance Ernest watches any of it.
Bro, I'm now, as of right now, behind 3 weeks on Dynamite.
Buddy, you didn't miss anything except for this week's Dynamite. This week's Dynamite's the only one you probably need to go watch.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. It's on TBS. I had to move to the apps now. I had it done on TBS app today because it's not on TBS.
All right. My iPad's gonna die, so I'm out.
Goodbye.
Bye, friends.
Bye.